The silence in the house was deafening. It was once filled with laughter, toys, and the pitter-patter of little feet. Now, only hollow echoes remained. Mark stared at the empty rooms, his heart aching with each passing moment. His ex-wife Sarah had taken their two beautiful children, Lily and Ethan, leaving him utterly lost. The court ruling had been a blur. Sarah had painted him as an unfit father, a monster in the shadows. She had lied, manipulated, and twisted the truth. The evidence of her infidelity, her gambling debts, her neglect, all brushed aside. He was left with nothing but the bitter taste of injustice. Mark could still remember the day they left. Lily's tear-stained face, Ethan's small hand slipping from his grasp. The memory was a searing brand on his soul. He would never forget the despair that engulfed him, the feeling of his world crumbling around him, but even in the depths of his sorrow, a flicker of determination ignited. He would fight for his children. He would bring them home. Sarah's web of lies began to unravel slowly. Mark hired a private investigator, a quiet, unassuming man named Frank. Frank was good, very good. He unearthed hidden bank accounts, documented secret rendezvous, and gathered testimonies from witnesses who knew the truth about Sarah's double life. The evidence was damning. It painted a picture of a woman consumed by her own desires, her children mere pawns in her selfish game. Mark pored over each document, each photograph, his anger growing with each passing day. This wasn't just about his heartbreak anymore, it was about his children's well-being, their safety, their future. He presented his findings to his lawyer, a seasoned professional named Mrs. Davies, known for her tenacity in the courtroom. She examined the evidence, her expression growing grim. "This is strong, Mark," she said finally. "Very strong. We have a real chance here." Hope, a fragile butterfly, fluttered in Mark's chest. He clung to it, nurturing it with every ounce of his being. The legal battle was arduous. Sarah fought back with a vengeance, her lawyers throwing up roadblocks at every turn. The hearings were grueling, the cross-examinations brutal. Mark found himself reliving the pain of his shattered marriage, his character assassinated, his love for his children questioned. There were times when the weight of it all felt unbearable. He would wake up in the dead of night, his pillow stained with tears. But then he would see Lily's drawing on the refrigerator, Ethan's toy truck by the door, and his resolve would solidify. He wouldn't let them down. He couldn't. The turning point came unexpectedly. One of Sarah's own witnesses, a former friend, cracked under pressure. She revealed the truth about Sarah's manipulative schemes, her lies, and her utter disregard for her children's welfare. The courtroom was stunned into silence. Mark could feel the tide turning. His lawyer, Mrs. Davies, gave him a reassuring nod. They were close, so close. The judge's ruling was swift and decisive. Sarah's custody was revoked. Mark was granted full custody of Lily and Ethan. As the gavel came down, a wave of relief washed over him, so powerful it almost brought him to his knees. He had won. His children were coming home. The reunion was everything he had dreamed of and more. Lily ran into his arms, her laughter music to his ears. Ethan, initially shy, soon warmed up, his small hand reaching for Mark's. As Mark held them close, he vowed never to let them go again. Life wasn't a fairy tale. There were challenges, adjustments, and the ever-present shadow of the past. But with each passing day, the laughter in the house grew louder, the silence a distant memory. Mark was no longer just a father, he was a protector, a shield against the storm. He had faced the darkness and emerged victorious. He was home, with his children, where he belonged.